Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. Today is a mentorship session with my new friend Abhay. Abhay, welcome.
Hi, Jason. Hi, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope the long weekend went well. So yeah, I'm Abhay. I finished my master's degree from George Mason University back in December, and then from then on, I'm working as a part-time software engineer uh, at a IT consulting company in New Jersey. I work remotely. I My work is based on Java and Spring Boot for the most part. Recently, we worked on an e-commerce project. We developed e-commerce REST API. I wrote all the endpoints and all the classic backend things, JWT authentication, using MySQL database and all that. So yeah, most of my education has been in computer science and software engineering, and right now I'm looking for a job and trying to sharpen my skills as a programmer.
Yeah, and so where you wanting to where you wanting to improve? Any specific idea of how you wanted to spend this session, that kind of thing?
Yeah, uh, what I've observed is I can stitch things around. If I have a problem that I need to solve, I usually just Google it or use ChatGPT, and I can stitch the solution around. However, when I do lead code or things like that, it gets a little difficult for me to model the problem in my head
Mm-hmm.
and think in code, if you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean. Like, I tend to like struggle in that area where I have to implement the solution in coding, or rather just separate out the concerns in the problem
Mm-hmm.
and implement the code for that. So
Okay.
I think that'd be better if we evaluate like where I stand and maybe what next steps to take.
Okay. Okay, yeah, great. Um, yeah, in my experience, one of the biggest problems that programmers have is that they get like a vague idea of what they want to do, and then they just jump right into coding, and they don't
Hmm.
like decide what to do before they do it. Um, and so maybe we can go a bit deeper into that idea, and maybe we can use some kind of sample project
Yeah.
as something to hang this on.
Hmm.
Um, Remind me, Abe, did I send you my book manuscript that I'm working on?
No, not
Yeah.
really. You sent me the code that we are working on, the Ruby project, the expression parser, the GitHub for the expression parser, which
Oh,
which
yeah,
I
yeah.
studied actually. Yeah, which I was studying like a couple of hours ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I looked around and I was trying to understand the code and all that.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you're familiar with that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be up for doing some live coding right now?
Sure, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it in Ruby.
Oh, you can do it in whatever you want. It doesn't have to be Ruby.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll change the permissions here so that you can share your screen, and then whenever you're ready, you can pull up an editor and share your screen.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Let me
Sorry.
just.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you should be good to go whenever you're ready.
All right, let me just pull up my IntelliJ so that I can share it.
Sorry, one second. I gotta fix my curtain. The light is coming in, and I don't like it. There we go. I've said before, certain time of year, certain time of day, it's like Stonehenge. It's just a beam of light that comes in and shines so brightly on me.
Let me just share my screen.
And while you're doing that, I mentioned my book. I have here a hard copy of Professional Rails Testing, my new book. It's just a
Interesting.
proof copy,
Hmm.
but soon this should be ready, available to the general public. I'm going to Rails World in a few weeks in Toronto. I plan to bring a few of these with me to give out as I don't know, just a gift to some people.
Wow, awesome.
Okay, so we got kind of a blank file here.
Yep.
Okay, so for you guys, David and Rick, if you're not familiar, although I think you guys might be, um, I had this idea for a program that would parse a mathematical expression into a tree. So, like if you had 2x plus 5, for example, it would split out the 2x from the 5, and then even inside of the 2x, it would split that into a 2 and an x. So kind of like a tree. Um, and Abe, if you were going to code up an expression parser yourself, how do you think you would go about starting?
Mm, right. So, yeah. So we can start by taking a string,
Hmm.
uh, and then when we could, as we did in the Ruby parser, we could declare a few expressions. And if we see any expression uh, in the string, we could split it in the string, I think. Although I'll have to pull up some Java documentation so that I don't confuse my syntax. Is
Hmm.
that fine?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. Perfect. So you want me to do that?
let's do it.
Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's start by just writing a string, right?
Okay,
Let's say it's 2 times x.
okay,
Uh, and then uh, whenever we see whenever we have to loop through the string here, right? So we could start by just writing the loop. Oh, sorry. Expression. So we are looping uh, through the expression here. And so right now we need to see we need a way to see if there is an expression in the string. So we could write a few expressions down so that uh, whenever whenever the loop encounters an expression in the string, we could separate out uh, the different parts of the expression.
okay,
So let's just create an array, right? So just let's just create an array here. So let's just do these for now. Is that
okay,
good?
okay.
What do we have here? What's the error? I'm sorry, this is my first time coding live, so I'm kind of
Oh yeah,
nervous
that's
here.
okay. I
Yeah.
was saying in the last session that whenever I'm coding in front of people, my IQ drops by about 20 points.
Yeah. I don't know what's with that, but it happens to me a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, just give me a second. Let me pull up some
Yeah.
documentation so that I can fix the errors.
And are you a ChatGPT user?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT a ton when I'm coding.
Right, right. So So yeah, so we have this operators array, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So now we need what do we need? So every time we see an we every time we see an operator, we need to fix that in a root variable. Uh, and we also need to separate out the children,
Okay.
right? So I would start with uh, creating let's say just we could just say that. And then we also need uh, to we also need left child and right child so that we can fix we could put those values in. So let's say uh so that's that. And so and every time we see an operator, we need to put that operator inside the root, and we also want to put the left child and right child in that. So we could see this is the part where I start start getting confused.
Okay. Well, maybe this is a good point to try another approach.
Hmm.
Um, because I think there's a way we could come at this that
Hmm.
will make life easier on us.
Okay.
Okay. So there's something there's something that we could have done before any coding that we didn't do.
Hmm.
Do you have any guess as to what I'm thinking of?
Like write a pseudocode something or something.
That's kind of
Or
close.
hmm.
Yeah, we didn't decide with a lot of precision what we're shooting for.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And so how about let's do that? Um, and maybe this will make you sad, but let's just delete all this code.
Sure.
Nothing against that code. We're just going to start fresh.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so maybe let's put in some comments
Hmm.
saying what we're shooting for. So first of all, we can just state the objective of the whole program. Like, what even is this program?
Right. Uh, yeah. Sure. Do you want me to state it?
Yeah, let's write it down.
Okay. Sure. So let's write a program to parse an expression. So here we have to define a few things. What do we mean by parse and what do we mean expression?
Yeah.
Right. So we could for now we could just parse the expression as we could simply separate the parts of the expression and print them,
Okay.
right? So separate the parts of the expression and print them. Is that fine?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Uh, sure. And then what do we mean by expression? It's a string, right? So expression this will be a string, and uh, yeah, so expression will be a string.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and then maybe we can think of the various scenarios that we want to address.
Right. So like the various operators that we will be encountering.
Yeah. And even scenarios like, I don't know how much we want to get into right now, but like, what about like nested parentheses, for example, and order of operations and stuff like that?
Hmm. Right. So yeah, we could do parentheses also. So things that we'll be seeing in a string, so parts of expression. Uh, I don't know if I'm doing this right or wrong, but yeah.
I don't think there's a right or wrong way.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
can
maybe
define.
there's better ways and worse ways, but I think so far it's pretty good.
Right, right. So we can define the parts of expression if I can correctly spell it. Yeah. So we will see parentheses. We will see parentheses. We will see operators. Yeah, and we will see uh constants.
Okay.
I think I think that's about it. Or am I missing something?
I'm not sure. Maybe let's take the scenarios one by one. Like what
Sure.
about the
Yeah.
scenario of addition?
Right. Scenario of addition. So
Like if we have, for example, x plus 5, what would we expect to happen?
right. So in case of x plus in case of x plus 5, we want to uh put plus in the root, x in the right child, and 5 in the sorry, we want to put what, x in the right child, x in the left child, sorry, and 5 in the right child.
Okay. Okay. And just for extra clarity, how about let's take that line we just wrote and just add like a blank line above it so that it's kind of by itself.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, I try to write good code, but I don't write good code because I'm smart. I write good code because I'm stupid. Um, like uh computer programs are like way more complex than what the human brain can handle. And
Right.
so we have to like dumb things down so that we can understand them.
Right.
And so even with this kind of stuff, I try to make it like as plain and clear as possible. So even like things like L child and R child, I have to pay a little bit of a cognitive cost when I see that to translate it from L child to left child and R child to right child. So let's not
Right.
make ourselves pay that cost. Let's just spell out left child and right child.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So here we have in case x plus 5, we want to put we want to put plus in the root, x in the left child, and 5 in the right child. Okay, to make life even easier on ourselves, how about we put those three things as like three indented bullet points below the first
Sure.
line? Okay. And I
Right.
think of these scenarios as like there's what it is in general, and then there's a specific example. And so for this one, we have the specific example, x plus 5, but we don't yet have the general statement of what the scenario is. So what would be a way to state in a general way what this scenario is that we're addressing?
So a general way would be so you want me to represent x plus 5 in a general sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say something like maybe we could say something like uh expression operator expression.
Okay. I'm shooting at something a little bit different. Okay, x plus 5 is one example of one scenario we might want to address. What's an instance of another scenario that we might want to address?
So we could we could do x times y, we could divide x by y.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, let's do x times 5. Let's add another thing that says x times 5.
okay.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between this scenario, x times 5, and that other scenario, x plus 5?
I mean, we have a different operator.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So,
have a different operator. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's the part that I want to focus on. So how would we label these two scenarios to make that part clear?
Uh, how would we label these two so that the difference is clear?
Yeah, like when we're dealing with x plus 5 and x times 5, what's the significant part of x plus 5 and what's the significant part of x times 5?
The operators that we are dealing with are different.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I'm not sure I'm able to understand the question here.
okay. Yeah, what I'm driving at is how about let's label that first one saying it's addition and the second one saying it's
Okay, oh, okay,
multiplication.
got it. Okay, got it. We could just call it.
Okay, great.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah, and then we can probably just copy paste those three lines and make some small adjustments.
perfect. Yep,
Yeah, I think that's all we need.
right.
Okay, and then how about let's do at least one scenario that's drastically different. What if we just have like an invalid expression?
Like just a blank string.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So we could just say invalid expression in case like an empty string,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to throw an error.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So this is maybe a good starting point. we have these three scenarios. Now, how about let's write some tests for some of these? Of the three, I think the last scenario would be the easiest to write a test for, of course. So how
Hmm.
about let's do that?
Right. So, uh, right. We
Yeah.
could start. We could start by creating a string which is empty,
Okay.
and yeah,
And
create.
have you written automated tests in Java before?
I've written it in my class using JUnit, uh, but I don't really remember the syntax and the. I think I'll have to install JUnit first to do that.
Okay. Yeah, why don't we have ChatGPT write us a test that
Okay.
says when we have empty string, it throws an error. And then we can
Right.
save that and try to run it and we'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah. So you want me to you want me to just copy this whole thing and just say ChatGPT to write a test for the empty string case.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Perfect.
And if you wouldn't mind, could you pull your ChatGPT browser window into the same window so we can see it?
Yes. Yes. Just let me. Okay. Sure.
Mhm.
Let's do that. I think okay. I might have just given access to only this thing. Are you able to see my entire screen or just the IntelliJ part?
I can only see IntelliJ.
Oh, okay.
Now I can see everything.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Abhay, you have a lot of unread emails.
Yeah. Yeah. I've a lot of 100 emails that I it's just it's the job applications I sent out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is what we got. So
Okay.
it gave us an expression.
Okay, I'm not interested in that right now. I'm more interested in the test.
Right.
Okay. So let's put that wherever we're supposed to put it.
Right. Okay, let me just copy this and I'm just making sure if there is anything that I am supposed to download or anything. Let me, okay.
Mhm. Now I do see that test directory. I don't know what that's about. Is that maybe where we're supposed to put it?
Uh, I'm not sure actually. We
Maybe
could
let's ask
ask it.
ChatGPT where we should put that test file.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to put that in the test file.
Okay.
Right. So let me just copy this again. And I think I need to import all of this. Okay, so we need to create a expression parser class in the main method. So do we want to do that? Like, do we want to?
Let's ask ChatGPT, how do we run this test?
Yeah. So the thing is, it is saying we need this main dot parse expression, which it I think it gave here. Yeah, this is the function we need.
Okay, well, let's run the test. And I know it's not going to work, but I just want to see what it gives us.
Okay, sure.
Cannot find symbol variable main. Okay, and actually ChatGPT, it always does this. It gave us more
Yeah.
than we asked for. So how about let's kill that test for null so it doesn't distract us.
Uh, so you want me to stop this or I didn't get you, sorry.
That second test, let's just delete it.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So as you said, it's saying it's like complaining about main because there's not anything right now called main that it
Mm-hmm.
knows about.
Yep.
Um, so let's do just enough to make that error go away.
Okay, perfect. So this is what we want.
Okay.
So it's also checking for null, which we do not need.
Okay. I mean literally just enough to make this error about main go away.
Yeah.
So do we need to like import main into that test file or something like that?
No, not really. So main cannot be defined, and yeah, I think we'll have to import main.
And if you
Yeah,
want, we can even just take that error and paste it into ChatGPT and it'll probably tell us exactly what to do.
yeah. I think it's gone now. I think it's gone. Let me just check the main. Uh, so we will need so here we do not have a string expression, right? We did not write any string expression here. So we'll have to give given whenever we call this function, we need to give an empty string here so that it could check here for an empty string.
Okay. Abhay, I'm
Yeah.
trying to train you to be as lazy as possible. And right now you're not being lazy enough. So
Okay.
here's what I want you to do. Take
Hmm.
this take this function and just blow it away, delete it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and let's just focus 100% of our mental effort on getting this error about cannot find symbol main to go away. So if we run the test now, do we still get that error or is it gone now?
So the main error is gone. However, we deleted the parse expression, right? So that comes up.
Okay,
So
I want to rely on the messages from the test as opposed to just the hints from the
sure.
editor. So let's run the test again.
Right.
Okay, cannot find symbol parse expression. Okay. Okay,
Right.
so now let's do the next step of let's just get this error message to go away, nothing more. So let's define a function called parse expression.
Right.
Okay, yeah, and let's run the test again and see what we get.
Okay, we'll just run the test and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So no arguments. We did not take any arguments back in the parse expression function here.
Okay, so let's make it take an argument, but nothing more.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna run it. Non-static method parse cannot be defined from a static context.
Okay, so maybe we need to make that method static.
Yeah, I'm gonna run this again now.
Mm-hmm. Illegal argument. And by the way,
Illegal
is there a
argument.
key command to run the test? It might save us some effort.
I'm not sure actually.
If you hover over
There's
that arrow button, that like play button, does it give us a hint with a key command or anything like that?
yeah, it does actually.
Okay.
It's uh command and R, I think. I'm not sure how to read this.
Yeah, I think the up arrow is shift and the caret, I'm actually not sure. It's not command, so it must be option. Either option or control.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's shift control. Let me just run and see.
Yeah, control shift R.
Yep, it is that.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be nice. Um,
Right.
okay. So it said expected exception and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I guess we can change our function to raise that exception.
Right. So we will have to raise an exception here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go back to ChatGPT. So here we need to throw an exception here.
Okay.
We could just copy this line. Paste it here.
And now if you do control shift R from here, does it run the test or does it do something else?
Uh, sure. It shows the hello world. I mean, it runs this
Oh,
file
okay.
instead of that. So we got to go to
Yeah.
this thing. So we did not get any error here.
Okay. It doesn't give us any positive output. It just doesn't tell us that anything's wrong.
Which is weird because we wanted to print the expression cannot be empty.
Well, I guess on the left, it does show us the green check marks, so that's some positive feedback. Um, just
Right.
curious, can you like comment that throw line and run the test again? I'm curious if instead of the two green check marks, we get something red.
Right.
Okay, I don't know why they picked orange or whatever, but we have these orange X's. Okay, so there is a difference.
Right.
All right, so if we go back to the function and uncomment that line, yeah, I guess we don't have to care too much about like what exactly the exception says.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's run this and just verify that it's green again. Okay, now
Yep.
there's a problem. You probably noticed it. If we go back to main,
Yep. Oops, sorry.
what's the problem with this function?
So we are executing the test. However, we are unable to see this expression cannot be empty print.
Well, there's that. I'm not too worried about that because that's kind of a detail. There's like a
Hmm.
bigger problem with this function.
Okay.
What happens if we pass in a valid string?
Right. So uh, it does nothing.
Well,
So
it
should
doesn't do
we?
nothing. If we give a valid string, what happens?
It still throws the legal argument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how
Yep.
about let's add another test case that says
Right.
when we give it something valid, it does something else.
Right. So you want me to write the case here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just. Or let's just uh add another one here with an legal argument, right?
Let's actually make a whole separate one because it
Okay.
really is a different topic,
Right.
And we
Test
could maybe
empty.
save ourselves some brain power by just copying this entire class and
Yeah.
giving it to ChatGPT, and we can say, give me another test, but for a
Right.
valid expression.
Right. So it's just test non-empty string. So if I say something like 2 times 5, do you want me to run it?
Well, what do we want to expect?
We want to expect the best case scenario here. It shouldn't do anything. However, like uh, I'm not sure.
How about we write a test for the simplest possible valid expression?
Okay, so so we need to change this expected here. So that would um, do you want me to like put this in ChatGPT so that we could get the right syntax here?
I don't know. What do you think the most lazy way to do it would be?
Hmm.
How could we get what we want with the least brain power?
Mm,
Using our own brain or using AI?
I think using AI would be much
Yeah. Yeah,
better.
let's do that.
Yeah. Let me just delete this
Yeah.
and let me just paste
Yeah, and
the
then we can
whole
say,
class.
give us another test with the simplest possible valid expression.
Yeah, give me another test with the simplest possible valid expression. So it always does more than we asked, right?
Yeah, that is dumb.
Yeah, test with a simple value here. You can just
What about 5? Like, that's obviously a simpler expression than x plus 5.
yeah.
Let's tell it to use the expression 5 instead. Okay. And what's this try catch business?
So this is to handle exceptions. This is if so it always tries this. It always tries to call.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I know what try catch is for. I just don't know why it's trying to put it in the test.
I
I
have no
understand
idea.
now.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to assert that um well, it's trying to assert the opposite case.
Mhm.
But that's dumb. Like we shouldn't tell it what we don't want. We should tell it what we do want.
Right.
So how about um well, okay, what would we want? When we parse five, what would we get back? How about let's say that when we tell it to parse five, we just get back the string five.
Right. There it goes
ChatGPT,
again.
you're hopeless.
Right. So let's see if this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So
Yeah,
we could
let's
use
do
this.
that.
Yeah, so let's just string plus five result. So this result thing, I don't know if this will work. I don't know where this
Well,
result thing came
let's
from.
try it out. Let's
Okay.
lean more on feedback and less on thinking.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Yeah, let's run it and see what happens.
Yep.
Okay. Void cannot be converted into string. Do you know why that's happening?
Yeah, we're not returning anything here, so we
Right.
want to change it to string and return something from here.
Yeah, except let's only do enough to make this current error message go away. So
Yep.
now that we changed void to string, we should probably
So
get
yeah,
not this error anymore. Okay, expression cannot be empty.
right. So this is probably from this one. So
You think so? Because when we ran that test before, it didn't give us an error.
oh right, yeah.
Yeah, and see if you look on the left, that test passes and this test is not passing. I think this is
Right,
just
right.
showing us that it's always raising that error. So I think now we can add a conditional to say that if the string is empty, raise that error, otherwise just return the same string.
Right. Right. So we could do that in main. So if string is empty, we could just raise this here and we could return the same string here.
Okay.
So that should probably handle it.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay. Well, now we can do something yet more complicated.
Sure.
How about now we do x plus 5?
Right. So yeah. Do you want me to change it here or like let's just make another one?
Let's make another one. And how about we just copy paste this whole thing and say to ChatGPT, now give us one for x plus 5.
Yep.
Mm. Um, but I think it'll be a good idea to, like I said, that, copy paste the entire test file that we have right now so that ChatGPT knows the style that is appropriate for it to follow.
Yeah, it could follow the context. Yes.
Yeah, because like it's still doing that like try catch bullshit that we don't want it to do. So like maybe if we give it the test as it is now, then
Hmm.
it'll like understand that we don't want that.
Yeah, but it gave the this thing right now. We got the X plus 5 thing that we needed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that it's just generating the entire thing over and over again.
Okay.
We could let's just use that. Right. So we got this test that this expression is X plus 5, and we pass in this to the parse expression. So
Yeah, except the result we want is probably not x plus 5, right?
yeah, it expects X plus 5 here.
I think what we want when we parse the expression is we want something that has plus at the root.
Right,
Yeah, so
right.
I think we want to
So
say like expect result dot root to be plus.
okay, so uh let's just say plus here, right? So
Hmm.
this it will expect plus from the
Oh
return,
yeah. Hmm.
right? So we'll just run and see what happens. Yeah, so expected plus, but it just gave the entire expression,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So mhm,
Yeah, now we can write something that gives us back plus.
right. So we gotta go in main, and then uh, so yeah. So what do we got to do here? We have to write the this case right now. So we
At
want
least the
to,
plus part.
yeah. So let's just do that.
Perfect.
I think this should work.
I would think so.
Let's just, oh, good. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, we're about at time, but
Right. Right.
your homework, if you want it,
Right.
is
I
you could
do.
just
Yeah.
yeah, keep going, do the left child and right child.
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Abhay, I think maybe you have my Calendly link where you can schedule another mentorship time if you want to.
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so please go ahead and do that. People always join these things and they're like, yeah, I'm definitely going to pick a second time. And then nobody ever does. So,
Yeah. No, actually, I would appreciate doing this again because you can see, right? I am able to do it. However, it just takes me time to map out the right. It just takes time for me to understand different parts of
mhm.
the code here.
Yeah. And it's not a habit yet for you. So it'll take time to establish
Yeah,
that as a habit.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is great. This is great as a small project. I'll maybe I'll just write a few more test cases for this, and you could review those next time when we do this.
Okay. Yeah, and before we go, a quick word from our sponsor. This kind of thing that I did with Abhay just now, dear viewer, I also do for work. I make my living as a consultant, and so I do this kind of teaching with individuals and with teams. And I also do consulting with CTOs and VPs of engineering on higher level stuff, like how do I for example, how do I get my team to do what I want them to do and stuff like that? More like management level stuff, not just nitty gritty nuts and bolts of code and that kind of thing. If you're interested in learning more about my consulting services, you can go to codewithjason.com, and I have a consulting link on that site with details to contact me and stuff like that. Um, Another word from our sponsor. I'm working on this book, Professional Rails Testing. And again, if you go to codewithjason.com, um, you can find ways to get on my newsletter there. And if you get on my newsletter, you will definitely get notified when professional Rails testing comes out. Um, all right, Abhay and David, thanks for joining me today. Dear viewer, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.